say, oh, by the way, I've lost my debit card and I've got no money and I'm stuck in Romania and I don't know anybody.
I think you probably spoke. We were going to talk about that. Was going to come under a separate part of the pod, wasn't it?
What, twat of the year?
Most, yeah, pretty much. So anyway, player of the season, Andy.
Blimey. Player of the year. I think for me, it's going to be Lucas Moura. I just think he's shown so much effort over the last few weeks. It's enough for him to be player of the year.
See, I think you've fallen for the whole co-commentator pundit thing that they do on live matches, where the guy that scored the winning goal, that's come on for the last 5 minutes, scored the winning goal, and they go, do you know what? He's player of the match.
I think you're right.
And the commentators go, really? And he's been on the pitch for 10 minutes, and he's just got his head on the end of a header. Definitely. I mean, he's made the telling contribution for the season.
Yeah,
I think
you're right.
Gone down that route.
Well, and also you've got to factor in, I can't remember the first part of the season either. So
that's about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Fair point. So, Jamie, who are you going with?
Yeah, as I just said, the season seems to have started so long ago. It's all sort of blurred in and merged in with our last few Romanian games when we moved into the new White Hart Lane from Wembley. To be honest with you, I don't think I've got a player of the season. We've got players that played really positive roles in 4 or 5 games and then they sort of tailed off. So
true.
You've got players like Tanganga. Yeah, he was blinding for 3, 4, 5 games. And then you've got Moura for the last sort of 5 or 6 games of the season. You've got Kane that's come back after injury. Sonny filled a void. I don't think I can pick one, but after lockdown and the footy starting back up again, I'd say off the cuff, Hugo for the last 6, 7 games. He looks commanding. He looks more confident on the ball. As we touched on last week, Twinkle Toes isn't there messing around on the edge of the 6-yard box or anything. So I can't pick a player of the season because it's just been so stop-start.
Yeah.
It's not been ideal, is it? But, it is what it is.
Fair play. All right. Stace, thoughts?
I was going to say Hugo, but I'm going to say Harry Kane, purely for missing such a
good shout.
Time of the season. Yeah. He's a talisman for us. He leads from the front. He defends. He just does everything for me. And
just before you finish, are you saying you're making him player of the season for missing such a big part of the season for us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Why not? That's my...
He didn't contribute enough to the trauma that we've had, so therefore he gets a pass, is what I'm hearing.
He gets a free pass.
for jumping straight back in after having such a long time out, still banging in the goals, still creating goals. His all-round game is just head and shoulders above anything else that we've got in that side. Hugo's had a brilliant season. Sonny's had a brilliant season. He scored some banging goals. I mean,
Burnley
goal.
Oh yeah, the Burnley goal.
We were all sat together, weren't we? We were sat right behind Sonny, and he went.
What a view that was! That was amazing.
It was blinding, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
The day that we won't forget seeing that. I kept on thinking he was going to get taken out, but he kept going. It just went on forever, didn't it?
Stunning.
Simon, your thoughts?
I love what you were saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm going straight for Sonny because I think his numbers are great. I think for him to he's scored. I'm just looking at look here. He scored 11 goals, 10 assists. He's I think what happened to him. He got banned as it was the Everton game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To then come through that, to come back, to just show what he does. I think there's very few occasions he's pissed me off, and I think that he's, aside from Harry, I think he's an amazing asset to our club. So I definitely would be hand Sonny a certificate this season.
And of course, he played that.
Have you made it?
He played
On
that.
Microsoft Word.
I hope you've laminated it, otherwise it's not going to last very long.
Clip it said, "It looks like you're trying to make a Player of the Season award. Would you like some help with that?" For those that you can remember.
Jeez, I've heard that he's actually waiting for that fucking award, Simon. He's like, he said, well, don't worry about the supporters player and all that he's got from the club. He's waiting for the Simon Award.
Fuck that.
Simon's
I want
certificate.
If I don't have a certificate that looks like it's a laminated menu from a cheap restaurant, then I'm not happy.
Exactly. Year will be made. Well, from my own point of view, I mean, I'm like Jamie. I'm struggling really. I don't particularly think that many people distinguish themselves over the course of the entire year. I kind of hear what you're all saying around Sonny and Harry and like Hugo, like when he came back, when we came back, and I think, and even like the person that I'd probably go for, I don't think had a massive enough season to really justify it, but just purely because I'd have to give a name and because I felt that when we were kind of shit, really, when we were kind of shit, he was the one that looked like he was going to be that kind of beacon or that player that was going to make a difference for us and the person that we needed to rally around, and that was Lo Celso. So, like for me, I'd have to go for Lo Celso. I wouldn't say that he was massively outstanding, but I just think that first season with us and what he did, and certainly pre-lockdown he looked. Pre-lockdown, I thought he looked fantastic, and then post-lockdown, he's not looked so great. But Sonny, for example, I just so many times in the game that I just feel that if Sonny and Kane could play together, could link up together, we would, we wouldn't have any problems, because they create so many chances, but they just don't seem to. When it's critical, when it's key, and you think, right, just lay him in, just lay it square or just play him through. It just doesn't happen. They'll turn inside and they'll try and get shots away. And I think that's Sonny more than Kane. Kane will try and lay. Sonny in.
Sonny doesn't have the same vision.
Sorry, Steve. If there's someone brought him up with his stats, Lo Celso for his season: 28 appearances, 10 wins, 8 losses. He's had 18 shots. He's had 3 on target. Shooting accuracy 17%. Big chances missed 1. He's got 2 assists only in the games that he's played. Mm-hmm. People have been quite critical, but I get what you're saying with his energy and stepping in when no one else was playing. He played a big part for us.
It's interesting actually when you look at the same stats. It appears his Champions League performances have been better than his league performances, but he hasn't played as much time in the Champions League to build those stats. It sounds to me what Steve is saying is that he's giving A for effort rather than actual,
correct
results and output. And I agree, he's a very exciting prospect, and we want him to continue to grow and flourish the same way that we do with all the players, but especially him, especially Ndombele. We want them to be the people that we think they're supposed to be, and he's had a shaky start, but it's not been as shaky as Ndombele's, obviously, but it is. We want to see him do better, but you think he's done enough to earn a plaudit at this point.
For his first season here, next season is going to be even better. He's getting to learn the league. He's better than Lamela. He's a lot fitter than Lamela for starters. Fingers crossed he stays fit, and next season he pushes on.
And I think once we bring Højbjerg in to play next to Lo Celso, he's going to be freed up a lot more.
I don't think we're going to get Højbjerg.
That's the one we want. That's the one we want. If I'm saying he knows the Premiership.
Where's your faith, Steve? Where's your faith?
Well,
come on,
I know you types levy out all the time.
Southampton want 12.5 million, and we only want to pay 12.4 million. Levy trying.
No, that's just
bargain away.
That's just the press talking, mate.
Don't worry about that.
It's a done deal.
You listen to Uncle Andy. He's more ITK than all the ITKs.
Yeah, I certainly am. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna come on to that in a little while. Let's not spoil that one. We'll come on to that.
If he comes in, he'll put Sissoko under all sorts of pressure. He will.
Well, I fucking hope so. I'll tell you, someone needs to. Anyway, so right, let's move on. So, gents, most memorable moment for you of the season. We shall start with Andy. Andy, we're starting with you, mate.
Yeah, can we go back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago? In December, when we played Burnley, that Sonny goal, that was just... Yeah. In fact, that game itself was brilliant because, Harry was on fire as well. That first goal he scored was brilliant. But Sonny's goal was just the best I've ever seen at Spurs. Definitely.
Wow. That's some testament. Anyone else got anything? Any other things to offer?
Yeah, I do.
Go on, Jamie.
This isn't an on the pitch highlight of the season. This is an off the pitch season. Off the pitch highlight of the season. And this was when the Man City game was on, and we went to Redemption.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I took my dad there for his birthday.
Mm-hmm. Remember?
And Wazza and my dad have got the same birthday. First of Feb. And
cock. You could have said the whole story without putting that bit in. You could have just brought your dad in and left that bit out about my birthday. But
the thing is, though, for about 2 or 3 weeks, I was starting to think, well, hang on, my dad's birthday's on the 1st of Feb. Wazza's birthday's on the 1st of Feb. Could he be my dad? And for weeks I was thinking, hang on a minute, this is messing my head up. And then I realised Waz must have been about probably 8 when he would have given birth to me. And I thought, no, he can't be my dad. So my dad must be my dad. But
to be fair, Jamie, the beer is very strong at Redemption.
Well, some of it is. But anyway, the funny moment from Redemption was that Wazza was talking to my dad. And he was calling him Ricardo. And my dad, I think Wazza walked off. And my dad went, Jay, why the fuck is he calling me Ricardo? And anyway, that's the name I call my dad. My dad's name's Rick. And I call him Ricardo rather than Dad just for a laugh. Because our old local butcher down in Chesington used to call him Ricardo. And after about 10 minutes, I said to Waz, his name's not Ricardo, it's Rick. And that was followed by, oh, Jamie, you're such a fucking dick, and this and that. And, my dad should have knocked you out, really, for just being disrespectful to me. It was terrible.
He should have done, but he didn't. Seeing as you mentioned that, I will also just follow up on.
Tell your version of the story.
Well, no, I won't actually. No, I won't. I'll let you go with your version. He's because I never told you about my birthday until that day. So, but that day, that match was my moment of the season, but only purely because obviously we won the game. But I'd had to rush from my own game in the morning, where my team were playing, and I just stepped in to manage that team for the day because. Like my normal team play in the afternoon, and we managed to get a win. So we got a win in the morning. I rushed straight from there up to Redemption, had a beer or two, went to the City game. Obviously, we won. So it was, as you say, it happened to be my birthday weekend. I wasn't going to put that part in the story.
Sorry,
mate. Thanks, but it was my birthday, so it was just a great weekend, effectively. So it was summed up really well, apart from the whole embarrassment of calling your dad Ricardo when that wasn't actually his name.
And also, my dad fell over in the Sainsbury's car park as well, didn't he?
Oh, that wasn't a great.
He never put his hands out. He just fell over like a skittle in a bowling alley.
That weren't a great moment. So anyway, okay, so that's us, Simon.
So so on the pitch, I think Sonny's solo goal, I think, is a cracker and one of the best that we've certainly seen this season. But I think for me, it kind of wraps into the whole Rainbow Laces event that happened, because around that weekend. So obviously, Rainbow Laces, as we've talked about before,